At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday out there. If today is your day off, I'm happy you're able to rest. But if you're up, maybe you're still stuck on your regular schedule. But I'm happy you're up with me this morning, heading out throughout our week. We are going to have a pretty nice week, I would say. A little changes going on this morning as far as any fog and frost we're going to start to talk about. But as far as frost, we're talking about Cascade Christmas. So we'll jump into the weather in just a bit. But this Reading holiday tradition, with this holiday week ahead, you still have chances to head out and go out and see the show the 28th through the 30th. So if you have any family members coming into town, this may be something nice to do if you're trying to figure out what can we do after we eat all of that food and enjoy each other's company. So Cascade Christmas again has more shows this weekend from the 28th to the 30th. Now, heading out this morning, we are noticing dense fog across the area. If you stepped out right before our live, or maybe you're out walking right now or in your car listening, not watching, you may notice a lot of that fog out there in the valley. It has stretched up through the valley, and the advisory does last until about 11 o'clock. So if you're making any morning travel plans and heading out and heading south throughout the state, that dense fog is out there, and that advisory is until 11 o'clock this morning. So we'll jump into that in just a bit, but that visibility can drop down to less than a quarter of a mile. There's also a frost advisory along the coast. We had some offshore flow, high pressure settled in, and that kind of brought us a little bit of clearing overnight along the coast, setting up for some of the moisture we're in store for this morning. We got frost and colder conditions, and that has trickled down into the interior valley as well as into Trinity County. So driving throughout southern portions of Humboldt County, you'll notice some of that frost advisory. Patchy frost will be the story late nights into the early mornings, even into our weekend, especially for areas in the East Mountains and Trinity County as well. Light rain and drizzle, it is still possible for us along the coast, mainly those coastal areas and interior valleys. We can see some of that light drizzle starting as early as even late tonight, overnight into tomorrow morning, and slightly for the weekend. Our chances are really less than 20% across the area, and for most of us, we'll just get some more cloud cover moving in. And the most thing that I would say that we're going to pay attention to as far as any impactful conditions heading out for holiday travel will be that fog. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. But stepping out the door this morning, 37 degrees in Eureka, so cooler waking up. Not too many clouds out there, so we do have that frost advisory. 38 degrees in Redway is where we have a frost advisory as well. Hoopa, 39 degrees. Although we're cooler, not really seeing that's where the frost advisory is. Trinity County underneath that frost advisory with temperatures in those low 30s. 42 degrees in Reading stepping out the door, and 27 in Bernie. Chilly out there in Bernie, upper 20s, Mount Shasta in the upper 20s as well. Now as we head at around 8 o'clock, it's about 2 hours from now, about an hour and a half, temperatures will fluctuate a little bit, getting a little bit cooler in the valley, about 40 degrees. Still dealing with that dense fog advisory. 37 degrees in Trinity County, North Coast, about 40 degrees, so warming up slightly. 37 in Siskiyou, 30 degrees in Modoc, and just about 33 degrees in the Eastern Mountains. So grab those jackets heading out. All of these temperatures where you live, if you've been there for a while, it still could be cold to you. So 33 could be chilly to you all in the Eastern Mountains, and you may think 40 degrees is fairly warm, but in the valley, that could be kind of cold for us heading out the door. So grab those jackets if that's needed for you. This is what I was meaning about the high pressure settling over. So you see a little bit of that clearing looking at our satellite. We have the offshore flow, winds generally coming in from the southeast and we have some of that frost developing along the coast. But clearer conditions starting off your day. You'll see a little bit more of that sunshine in areas where we don't have the fog. Low pressure system off towards the west with that weak cold front that will begin to move in as we head further into tonight and our weekend. So we'll get to that in just a bit. But our highs today along the coast, mid to upper 50s, even some low 60s. And then we're also going to feel temperatures in the valley, mid to upper 60s. Today, although we're starting off on the chilly side, will be one of the warmest days of the week. 67 degrees in Redding, 51 in Lassen Park. But we will drop back down a little bit chilly and then waking up tomorrow on the cool side. So tonight, take a look at these temperatures, mid to upper 40s along the coast, 39 degrees in Ruth. We'll feel temperatures at about 31 degrees in Bernie, 30 degrees in Fall River Mills. So we are seeing some of those 30s dropping at or below freezing, 28 degrees in Alturas for tonight. So keep that in mind if you're heading out for your traveling. Oh, this is a little, give me a second. There we go. Red Bluff, we really want to know how Red Bluff is doing for our travel forecast. So if you're in Red Bluff, you saw that heading out today for your highs. It'll be 64 degrees. We're going to back it up a bit. If you're heading throughout the state, Fort Bragg, 56 degrees, 71 in Santa Cruz. And then again, that fog. It should start to burn off as we get into the afternoon, but patchy fog may be possible as you're traveling further south into Fresno across the state, and then even in areas in LA. Now, we're not looking at major conditions as far as any rain or even any chances of dense fog in some locations as we head into the afternoon. So if you have any travel plans as far as flights, check on those flights, just because some of these areas could have some fog in them. But 82 degrees, fairly warm, upper 70s even along the coastal areas in San Diego. Heading out to Phoenix, relatively dry, mostly sunny out there at about 77 degrees. Vegas, 67 degrees. If you're heading and driving to Vegas, you may run into some of that fog, but flights seem to be pretty nice. And South Lake Tahoe in the low 60s, so fairly warm out there in Pleasant, I would say, if you're having any travel plans heading out for your Wednesday. And then as we head throughout our travel for tomorrow, we are going to notice a little bit more of that fog though. In Bakersfield, 64 degrees and 61 in Fresno. Again, fog, I think, will be the most impactful thing as far as any travel goes. And that's whether you're driving or if you have any flights. But low 70s further to the south of the state, a little bit cooler as that weak front moves through. So we'll notice that as well. Taking a look for us, heading a little bit more in our area in northern portions of the state, 68 in Redding for our travel forecast today. And if you're going up north into Oregon or even into Washington, that's where we're going to notice a little bit more of that cloud cover. It can get some of those rain showers starting as early as today. Even in Boise, a little bit colder at about 48 degrees. And making our way to Salt Lake City, just about 52. So as far as temperatures go, 50s and 60s heading out the door. For most of us, chilly start, but these are our highs as we'll get throughout our travel day for today. And then around the area tomorrow, we'll start to notice temperatures a little bit on the cooler side. That front kind of pushed through. And then we're going to feel temperatures slightly cooler. In the valley, not a big drastic change, 65 degrees, 57 in Eureka. And then we'll feel temperatures if you're heading up to Portland, low 50s. And again, more of those rain chances where we'll see higher accumulations. As far as us across the northern portions of Del Norte County, we'll probably get less than 1/10 of an inch. 7-day outlook after your holiday, we're looking at temperatures dropping a few degrees, mainly about 3 to 5 for most of us across the valley. We'll feel temperatures in those low 60s getting into your weekend. Red Bluff temperatures in the low 60s as well. Overnight lows sticking into those low 40s. And Chico, we'll see a little bit more clouds moving in as we get into the weekend. But fog, I think, is going to be the main thing that I'm just going to keep an eye out on for the next couple of days for us here in the valley. Along the coast, we do have those chances of the light drizzle and light rain chances as we head into late tonight and even into your Thanksgiving morning. So any plans of heading out, maybe you're heading out to go for a walk with the family or even head out to the turkey trots. Just remember that we'll start to see a little bit more of those clouds along the coast, and then temperatures in those mid to upper 50s as we even get into the weekend. Not a drastic change in temperatures for us across the area when it comes to that weak front moving through. Where we're going to notice those changes, mainly going to be in the higher elevations in Mount Shasta, Alturas, and in Susanville. So notice today, tomorrow, even into Friday, we're still relatively on the warmer side in those mid to upper 50s for Thanksgiving Day, even low 60s in Alturas. But the front pushes in, and then we have those temperatures dropping into the 40s as we get into the weekend. We even have some light drizzle with some of the clouds moving in, but not looking at large accumulations as far as anything impacting travel. Let's go ahead and take a look out at Lake Oroville, the North Fork Bay. We do have the dense fog advisory. Just remember that visibility can drop. We can't really see too much going on out there, but notice it is a little bit on the patchy side as far as fog go. Main Street, Chico, we're still seeing some of that fog. The dense fog advisory does last till about 11, but it seems that everyone's traveling fairly safely out there right now. So happy holidays to everyone heading out. And if you're looking forward to heading out, happy holidays and safe travels for you on Highway 99 at Neal Road. Things seem to be a little bit more congested. Everyone's getting out the door this morning. So again, on the cooler side and foggy side, we'll pay attention to that throughout our morning hours. That fog advisory does seem to expire at 11 o'clock this morning. So afternoon will seem a little bit better. Can't really see too much going on out there on Sundial Bridge. Take your time heading out this morning on Highway 44 and looking at Bald Hill West. Not too much. We can see those low clouds and the fog moving in. So just painting the story of this morning. Chilly and also on the foggy side. Soda Ridge seeing beautiful views out there, and we're not seeing too much fog. It will be pretty cold though, keeping that snow nice and steady for a little bit more accumulations as we head into the holiday. And we're going to notice a light snow shower in some of the higher elevations, but not big accumulations. But we have more to look forward to for this season. Fort Jones seeing a nice low cloud deck out there for us this morning, and maybe be a little bit on the misty side. Lassen Park, well, we're getting a lot of snow melt, I would say. Starting to see a little bit more underneath that bench, my point of reference, and may even notice a little bit more of that snow further into the season. But I could say we had a good, pretty melt out there within the last week when our last system pushed through the area. But beautiful image stepping out. Does look cold, but beautiful and nice. Just layer up and enjoy it. Well, I hope you enjoy this segment, and it is sponsored by Grange Co-op. And when we return, we'll talk a little bit more about what we can expect for today and for the holiday in just a bit.
Hello everyone, I'm Mike Kruger from Weather NorCal, and this is Grange Co-op Spotlight. And with me right now, I have got Karen, and we are in the apparel department here. So tell us about what you got out here.
Well, pretty exciting. I just got Carhartt Kids in. Ooh. Super excited to have that for Christmas. Okay. We've had a lot of requests for it. Yay, we got it in. I have Ariat. I've got Carhartt, Wrangler, Cinch, and some Outback. I've got a lot of great apparel, and right now we're having a killer sale going on. I also have CCW jackets, vests, and purse, which is a big thing in this area. Hats, some beanies. I'm running out of beanies, so if you want your Carhartt beanie, you better get down here. I do have some Ariat beanies also. We've got a wide variety of stuff. I've got work clothes for men and women. Which, again, there isn't a lot of nice work clothes for women in the area, so thankfully we have that. I've got composite boots for the ladies, and I've got steel toe boots for the guys. Okay. If I need to get more stuff, y'all come down here and tell me what you want, and I'm happy to try to get it for you.
And that's what I think is great about you guys, is you will kind of do special orders for people, right?
Yes, I'll reach out to my other stores. If my other stores don't have it, then I reach out to my buyer, and she's been super helpful with getting me stuff that I need.
Well, excellent. So if you are looking to be fashionable, you're fashionable. She knows all about fashion, so she will certainly help you out here at Grange Co-op. So thank you, Karen, and we will see you next week for another Grange Co-op Spotlight.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, that was nice to see, and what's also nice is that we have our sponsors from Wind River Resort and Casino. So this is all made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Well, it seems like a nice weekend to kind of get out and enjoy anything across the coast and also across the region. We're going to dive right into that, but mentioning again that fog this morning. So holiday travel, that's going to be the story. We could get visibility dropping as less than a quarter of a mile at times. And this advisory is for the valley. So that will start to expire as we get further into the morning hours, 11 o'clock into your afternoon. Get a little patchy out there. Frost advisory along the coast and also the interior valleys, as well as into Trinity County. A chilly start to the area for all of us across the region, developing some patchy frost in some locations, and that will be the story heading into our late nights, overnight into the mornings, and even through the weekend. We could notice those temperatures a little bit chilly and seeing some of that patchy frost. Light rain and drizzle is still possible as we head into late tonight along the coast is where we'll see most of those chances into the weekend. For some of us, we'll start to notice a little bit more clouds, but a lot of that rain chance will stay along those coastal regions for most of us across the area. So our deep dive forecast is sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids. We're going to deep dive into the forecast in just a bit, but first a word from Shasta Hearing Aid.
Frank, come help with the dishes.
What?
The dishes!
I heard it the first time. I just got back from Shasta Hearing Aids, but she doesn't know it yet. What?
Forget it.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. And we're going to go ahead and take a deep dive into your forecast. Now, we are noticing some frost out there for some of us across the area in Trinity County as well as in Humboldt County. Along the coastal areas in the region, it's going to stretch up all the way to northern portions of Humboldt County. This will be about until 9 o'clock this morning. We did get some offshore flow. High pressure is built over us, clearer skies, but very chilly, I would say, starting off the day. So if you're traveling throughout 101 or even Highway 36 into Mad River, you will also see some of that frost out there. That frost advisory, we could get some patchy fog as well. Not underneath a dense fog advisory like the valley, but we could still even get some of that patchy fog as you're heading out on 299 near Burnt Ranch, even to Weaverville and Hayfork. It is chilly, so make sure you are bundling up. These both expire at 9 a.m. So for Humboldt County, southern portions of Humboldt County and along the coast in Trinity County, this frost advisory does expire at 9 o'clock. So getting kind of chilly. Good thing it does expire at 9 if you still have to go out and possibly do any last minute grocery runs like I do and get a few things out there. I didn't get a chance to really look through, I would say, my cabinets for like spices, and I don't want to rebuy things like nutmeg. That nutmeg just gets stuck between everything and it gets kind of hidden. So I'm off track a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into what's important. Thinking about nutmeg, that dense fog advisory. Again, traveling out, grocery stores, heading out as you're traveling to any family or friends, that dense fog advisory. I bring that up. It's not rain, it's not snow. But to me, fog could be just as dangerous and hazardous as anything falling from the sky. It just sits there. And it could drop visibility to about less than a quarter of a mile at times. So I want everyone to have safe travels. We are seeing most of it across the valley from Shasta Lake, Redding, down to Red Bluff, these counties to Humma, and it will last until about 11 o'clock this morning. Butte County as well as Glenn County, we've been seeing that story for this dense fog advisory for, I would say, the last couple of days. So keep in mind that at times with that dense fog, it could be widespread, it could be a little patchy, but once you run into it, we could see visibility drop to less than a quarter of a mile at times. And this does start to stretch further down to the south. So if you are heading out before 8 o'clock and making your way down to Yuba City, you're still going to be in that fog advisory until 11, even if you're traveling further down into the valley, into Sacramento as well, even if you're heading off towards San Francisco. So this stretches further down the state. So this talks about our state travel, dense fog advisory, and for most of the areas, it will expire at around 11 o'clock this morning. So afternoon travel, a little bit better. If you have any flights, maybe heading out, you do want to keep in mind as you are making your way throughout the state that some of this fog can bring some impacts to your travel. So safe travels out there for everyone. Temperatures heading out this morning, 37 degrees in Eureka, chilly conditions out there, 38 in Redway where we have that frost advisory. Hoopa, not under the frost advisory, but still fairly cool, 40 degrees. 42 degrees in Crescent City. We're feeling temperatures in those low 40s throughout the valley, 42 in Bernie, and just about 31 degrees in Susanville, Altarez. A cold start to the day, chilly out there, with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. High pressure is right there. It's pushing that system further up towards the north. So the main driver, we were talking about any chances moving in as far as rain. High pressure just kind of settled around us and it was the driver for it. So we're still getting the tail end of that system, but most of it will stick further towards the north in Oregon and in Washington. So if you are having any holiday travels there, we're not looking at complete heavy downpours and washouts, but still those moderate rain chances. Could get some of those showers out there and even some light showers as well. That cold front pushing in is going to be on the weaker side, but it's still going to allow some of our areas in the eastern mountains drop down for temperatures. So we just want to keep that in mind too. Temperatures can get cooler, but not a big impact with that cold front moving in. Let's go ahead and take a look at our long range. This is what I mean by some of those high elevation snow chances in Washington as well as in Oregon. Not seeing a widespread event of anything that will stick around for a long time, but it is still there. So that can alter some of your holiday travel plans, and just make sure you're paying attention to areas and giving yourself enough distance when you're traveling. But notice this big ridge heading over us. It's like a big old rainbow without the colors. And it's setting up for some nice dry conditions after this as we get further into our weekend and into next week. But that's also going to allow us to have those chilly and cold starts to the morning and late evenings, a little bit more sunshine starting off your week as we get into Monday. The system further off towards the west, we'll keep an eye out on that as we get into next week. But it looks like this ridge is pushing it up a little further to the north, but we have a little bit more of that tail end over there in the Hawaiian Islands. So we'll see how close it does get to us as we head further into next weekend. Looking at the wave heights, fairly low out there, not too shabby if you're want to see any of those waves today or head out along the coast. The main thing, again, dealing with that frost advisory. I just want to just kind of point out, sometimes with that frosty conditions along the coast, even the grass could get a little slick, maybe even your porch or patio could get a little slick. So keep that in mind as well as you're heading out. Thursday for our Thanksgiving Day, by the later afternoon and evening hours, waves do start to get a little bit choppier and a little bit higher. So stay off those jetties. It will be a nice sunset, I would say, each day until we head into later Thursday and Friday, maybe into the weekend when we clear out a bit. But seeing our low tide just around 306 this evening, and those waves will be fairly lower, so not too bad. Winds on the breezy side at times, a light breeze along the coast and for our marine forecast. So no small craft advisory. That's the good news heading into our holiday if you want to head out on some of the boats, but that frost advisory is there. Our neighborhood forecast sponsored by Dignity Health. We're taking a look across the areas, and once that system does pass through, some of us will notice a big temperature change. Others across the area, we won't notice too much as far as temperature change, but more clouds moving into the area. So today, highs in the low 60s in Weaverville, mid to upper 50s as we head into our Thanksgiving Day. And then we do have a chance for some of that drizzle heading into Friday, but not seeing anything major for us across Trinity County. Besides those chilly starts to our morning and overnights, we're going to notice temperatures drop fairly cooler as we get further into the week. But highs for Thanksgiving Day, mid to upper 50s, even some low 60s are possible. Shelter Cove, 59 degrees. We can get some of that coastal fog in some of those areas. Make sure you're staying safe out there in Shelter Cove. It's beautiful when you head out, but it can get a little dangerous if you get a little adventurous, especially for those who are coming from out of town. So you can get those sneaker waves out there, especially today and into Thursday, Friday, and into your weekend. We can get also some of that drizzle and also some of those extra foggy conditions sometimes along those areas, especially in Ferndale. 60 degrees in Ferndale for the high. Fortuna, low 60s, and then those slight rain chances heading late tonight into tomorrow and also into the weekend. We can notice some chances into Saturday. Mainly it's going to be those low deck clouds getting a little misty, and that drizzle, they get kind of heavy sometimes. So they got to release somewhere mixed in with some of those marine layers. 60 degrees in Rio Del. It may see a little bit more sunshine out there in Rio Del as you head throughout your afternoons. Some of that coastal fog may stay a little bit further. 59 degrees in Eureka for the highs today. And then Hoopa, we'll see low 60s, mid to upper 50s as we head into tomorrow for Thanksgiving Day. And we will have a slight chance of a light drizzle. Even a light rain shower may pop up, but relatively dry. Nothing as far as big accumulations. Check on any flights as you're heading out along the North Coast, just because sometimes you could run into fog advisories further to the south if you're heading out. I've been in that area and flights have gotten delayed flying into San Francisco, also Sacramento for me sometimes. So just keep that in mind for your holiday travel. 61 degrees in Trinidad for the high today. Beautiful out there in Trinidad as we get into the afternoon. That coastal frost will start to clear out. It's a chilly start to the day out there. Early morning walks as you're heading out for Thanksgiving Day. You may get a little bit on the wet side, I would say, more for us in areas near Crescent City and Smith River and Gasky. We're noticing not really seeing too much, but we could get some of the extra cloud cover as well as a light shower in that drizzle as we head late tonight, even into tomorrow. Getting over into Siskiyou County, temperatures in those 50s as we're heading throughout the day. Wairika, our highs will be in the low 50s. Overnight lows drop into the 30s. Heading into Saturday and Sunday, that's where we'll see a little bit more of that temperature change. So we're starting to talk about that weak cold front moving through. Temperatures are showing that fluctuation in the upper 40s and low 50s into your Saturday and Sunday, and then into the upper 20s, even low 30s. So chilly with that weak cold front moving in, not seeing a big change in temperatures, but still noticeable in Scott Valley. 57 today, 54 degrees for your Thanksgiving Day, and into your Thanksgiving weekend, we're looking at temperatures in the low 50s. So chilly starts to our morning as you're heading out. 54 degrees for the high today in Weed, 58 in Mount Shasta, mid to upper 50s as you're heading into Thanksgiving, low 50s into the weekend for Mount Shasta, and those low 30s and upper 20s. Alturas will see temperatures warm today, tomorrow, but in the 40s as we get into the weekend. So chilly conditions into your weekend. Bernie, 54 degrees today for the high. 58 degrees for the high for Thanksgiving. Overnight into Friday, temperatures will be on the cold side, and 40s for the weekend. Chester, 60 degrees for the high today, and we'll feel those 60s and even low 50s as early as Friday. So just about that 5 to 10 degree temperature change with that weak front moving through. Lassen Park, low 50s, upper 40s for Thanksgiving, and then we drop nearly 10 degrees as we get into Saturday. So that's where we're seeing a little bit more of that change, waking up to some chilly and frosty conditions for the morning. In the eastern mountains, the winds will be fairly calm, but we'll start to see a little bit more of those clouds starting to move in a little bit more after today into the weekend. Mid to upper 50s for Paradise, mid to upper 50s for Susanville, 59 degrees tomorrow, and then that's where we see a little bit of that change as far as temperatures go. In the mid to upper 20s, overnight lows for your weekend. Starting off your Monday will be fairly on the chilly side. In the Valley South in Oroville, we're dealing with the fog. Fog will be the story. It has been for the last couple of days. Just about 63 degrees. Temperature is fairly on the mild side, sticking in the mid to upper 50s as we get into the weekend. And we'll see a little bit more of that sunshine, though, as we get into the afternoon, I promise. But we're dealing with a lot of that fog this morning, even across Chico, low 60s. You'll see the sun rise through the fog, get a little misty out there at times, possibly. So some dew may be on your windshield. You may have to turn on your windshield wipers when we get those dense fog advisories. 61 degrees on Friday, 59 getting into your weekend. So that's when we'll notice a little bit of that temperature change between like 3 to 5 degrees in some locations. Red Bluff, 64 degrees for the high, low 60s as we get into Thanksgiving and even into your weekend. Low 40s are on the way. Around Redding, temperatures will be on the warmer side today. Most of us, this will be the warmer day of the week, although we've been talking about frost and frost advisories and chilly conditions. Today will be the warmer day of the week before we start to cool down. Tomorrow, temperature is just about 65 degrees, 64 degrees for us heading into Friday, and then low 60s into the weekend. Again, Cascade Christmas, not too bad if you're heading out. We got low 60s in the forecast, but we may notice some of those clouds starting to move in as we head further into the week, into our weekend, but clearing out with sunny conditions even into next week. Take a look, a beautiful sunrise on the way in Soda Ridge. Nice to see it come above the mountains right now, and a little bit of those clouds, just a picturesque morning as you're stepping out, as well as in Fort Jones, that low cloud deck. Very pretty, not too much sun as we're not seeing, but it is getting brighter. And starting off our day in Lake Oroville, we do have the chances for some of that patchy fog, but not too bad, I would say, heading throughout the area as we get into the afternoon, but that fog will be in the way for us this morning. Well, I hope everyone is having a great start to their Wednesday, and even heading into tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about what we can expect after the holidays, our holiday day, and if you're getting ready for Black Friday, we'll talk a little bit more about the forecast for that as well. But just a reminder again, if you're traveling around the area through the valley, it may seem a little clear right now, Main Street, Chico, but again, we still have that dense fog advisory. It can get a little misty out there as well. Safe travels if you're heading out for today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.